Welcome to aminacademy.com. Let us do life stories of scientists. In that, we'll discuss about James Clerk Maxwell. A Scottish physicist, James Clerk Maxwell was best known for his formulation of electromagnetic theory. He is regarded by most modern physicists as the scientist of 19th century who had a greatest influence on 20th century physics, and he is ranked with Sir Isaac Newton and Albert Einstein for the fundamental nature of his contributions. In 1931, on the 100th University of Maxwell's birth, eight instances describe the change in the conception of the reality in physics that resulted from Maxwell's work as the most profound and the most fruitful that physics has experienced since the time of Newton. The concept of electromagnetic radiation originated with Maxwell and his field equation based on Michael Faraday's observations of the electric and magnetic lines of force paved the way for Einstein's special theory of relativity, which established the equivalence of mass and energy. Maxwell's idea also ushered in the other major innovation of 20th century physics, the quantum theory. His description of electromagnetic radiation led to the development of, according to classical theory, of the ultimately unsatisfactory law of heat radiation, which prompted Max Planck's formulation of the quantum hypothesis. That is, theory of radiant heat energy is emitted only in finite amounts or quanta. The interaction between electromagnetic radiation and matter, integral to Planck's hypothesis, in turn has played a central role on the development of the theory of the structure of atoms and molecules. Earlier career, between 1860 to 1865, Maxwell experienced the most productive years of his career. During this period, his two classic papers on the electromagnetic field were published, and his demonstration of color photography took place. He was elected the Royal Society in 1861. His theoretical and experimental work on the viscosity of gases also was undertaken during these years of culminating in lecture to the Royal Society in 1866. Research on electromagnetism. In 1865, Maxwell retired to the family estate in Glanlier. He continued to visit London every spring and served as external examiner of the mathematical exams at Cambridge. It was Maxwell's research on electromagnetism that established him among the great scientists of history. In the preface to his treatise on electricity and magnetism, the best exposition of the theory, Maxwell stated that his major task was to convert British physicist and chemist Michael Faraday's physical ideas into mathematical form. Other contribution to the physics. In addition to his electromagnetic theory, Maxwell made major contribution to other areas of physics. While still on his 20s, he demonstrated his mastery of classical physics by writing a prize-winning essay on Saturn's ring, in which he concluded that the rings must consist of masses of matter not mutually coherent, and a conclusion that was corroborated more than 100 years later by the first Voyager space probe to reach Saturn. Maxwell was far from being an abstruse theoretician. He was skillful in the design of experimental apparatus, as was shown early in his career during his investigations of color vision. Now we'll continue about James Clerk Maxwell. James Clerk Maxwell was a 19th century scientist who conducted experiments in electromagnetism, electricity, and magnetism. His experiments led to the discovery of the electromagnetic field and the unification of electricity and magnetism. What are the experiments? Electromagnetic field. Maxwell equations describe the electromagnetic field, which includes invisible electromagnetic waves like microwaves. Light. Maxwell demonstrated that light is a form of electromagnetic radiation that travels through space as a wave at the speed of light. Maxwell's demon. Maxwell's demon is a hypothetical creature that challenges the second law of thermodynamics. The demon controls the door between the two chambers of gas, allowing only fast moving molecules to pass through in one direction. Discoveries. Electromagnetism. Maxwell's work connected electricity and magnetism, which led many discoveries, including the invention of the radio. Theory of relativity. Albert Einstein used Maxwell's mathematical formulas to discover the theory of relativity. So far, we discussed about the great scientist James Clerk Maxwell. We have done. Please subscribe our YouTube channel.